and welcome to our crafting session this evening. It is Thursday evening, 27th of March 2025. A warm welcome to you. If you're watching live, do say hi. It's always nice to know who's joining with us. I don't have my mobile next to me, so I can't necessarily see all of the comments that come in. So I do apologise if you put a comment on there and I don't respond. It's just because I haven't seen it. Nothing more than that. If you're watching on replay, whether that is on Facebook or on our subsequent YouTube channel, then welcome to you too. The products that I'm using are current at this time, which is March 2025. We have been using this week this stamp set here. Sorry about the glare. Let me turn my overhead light out. Might help. It's called Year of Flowers. It's this one here. It has 16 stamps in total. Obviously 12 flowers, one for each month. And then four sentiments. Sending you a floral hug. Happy birthday. Hoping your day blooms with happiness, and I couldn't have picked a better friend. I'm going to have to let the dogs in and out. So good evening to you, Caroline. Let me show you the cards that I've made this week so far. So I'm trying to think which ones I did live. I think it was these two. So we've used the stencil mask in the background for this particular one, and we stamped and punched out these three elements using one of our little tag punches. This has been turned into a Mother's Day card, as has this one here. So on this one I stamped the three flowers with their month names and added happy birthday and again a happy Mother's Day, sorry, and then I've added again that little bit of stenciling to the back. I then turned this one into a birthday one, and I've stamped three lots of the daisies for April, but I've only added the April month in the center one, and I masked off the month for the other two. And then this one I've made into a Mother's Day card. I've got some patterned paper behind, that's the bokeh paper. And then I stamped the three daisies from the April month. Again, I masked off the name of the month, added a ribbon and added a little bee, and then I've got Happy Mother's Day, have a lovely day. And then I popped in the inside, you're the best. So something slightly different this evening. I am going to show you how I did the stamping without adding the month, but without having to mask it, and that's using our Stampin Write markers. So these are water-based markers, so similar ink to the ink we have in our ink pads. It is only very slightly different formulation because it comes in pen form, and like our blends pens, we have a finer tip and then we have a wider tip. I don't know if you can see that in the light. Let me put that behind. So there's the wider tip there, like so, and then we have a fine tip for writing or doodling, and that's you can hardly see it, that little one on the right hand side. I think I had to remove something from one of these dogs because they're fighting over it. I have to confiscate it, so nobody has it now. Sorry everybody. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do that, and I'm also going to introduce these arched dies. So these are called everyday arches, and there's a whole stack of these that work together. I think think there are 12 altogether, and they cut out this lovely arch shape, and they also have some stitching. So I'm going to use some of those. And these also have a coordinating stamp set, of course, and that's this one called Everyday Arches. And so we've got these arches here, so I thought I would combine some of these, either your ray of sunshine with a little flower inside, or maybe Know You Are Loved with a couple of flowers. So sorry about the squabbling that's going on down here. They are the best of friends, I promise. Okay, let's get a piece of white card out, do our initial stamping. And looks like I've got to open the packet for some reason. So I hope everybody's having or has had a good week so far. So here's a piece of our lovely white, basic white card, perfect for stamping on. If you're stamping and find you're not getting the results, I do recommend using our card. It's designed for stamping, for the ink to dry swiftly. Just going to cut this down to A6, I think, like so. Right, so let me show you how we did. I've also got a little oval I might use. So we're going to use a Stampin Write marker. Now, just before I came live, I got out a basic grey one, and now I can't find it. I have 3 different basic black, and you can buy the basic black one on its own. I did want the grey or the espresso, but of course I've got it out ready, and now I can't find it. So let's grab a stamp. Let's perhaps have the rose, which is June's month. Let's see it. There it is. Pop it on the block. So instead of taking the ink pad to the stamp or the stamp to the ink pad, this time what we're going to do is use the brush tip and just brush across the top of the stamp, and avoiding, in this case, the word June. Okay, I'm going to pop it on here, and what I didn't check was whether the stamp was actually clean to start with, but fingers crossed it is. Yeah. So there, can you see, you get the design of the stamp without the wording. Similarly, if you wanted the wording without the stamp, you could just highlight the word June. So what I'm going to do is use one of these archway dies. And what I haven't decided is whether I'll do one or multiple. So let's do a combination, and then we can put the cards together. So no need to clean this unless you're changing colours, and I will colour these in shortly as well. So I'm just going to just want to do 3, and also you could mix these, you could have different flowers, you don't have to use the same one. And what I am going to do is create a little mask for that. Let's see if I've got a post-it note to hand. I have somewhere. I'm just going to pop it onto here for the time being. Probably got enough on there to re-stamp it as well. No, because I did it. I stamped it twice and inked it up again. Okay. Let's just trim that. Sorry about the extra noises going on here. So I'm just cutting 2 at a time so I can cover that one up and then put one either side. There we go. So yes, I do need to do that as well. Thought I might get away without having to cut it all out, but not quite. Okay, so I'm going to have to be careful not to cut through this. So Friday's tomorrow. It was lovely weather today. Hopefully it'll be nice weather for the weekend. What have you got? Right. I think that will be okay. So I'm just covering that up. Going to re-ink this. As I say, you want to use the flat side of the pen. If you use the other one, you'll be there for a very long time because it's got a fine point. And it would have been better with a proper bit of post-it note, but I'm hoping I'll get away with this. Let's add one here. Just need to see what's being crunched under my table. Yes. I've just found my basic grey pen. This is what it looks like now. Oh dear. Well, I'll seal that up. This end will still be able to use it. It must have rolled off my chair onto the floor. That was why. Good evening to you, Nicole. Anyway, I don't know. Right. Okay. So we've got our 2 roses here. I'm going to put another one on that side. So I should have given myself probably a bit more space, but never mind. I think we can make it work. And if not, I'll stamp it again. So using a Stampin' Write markers to omit the word June. So there we go. So I've got my 3 petals together, or 3 flowers together. I'm just going to colour those in, and I'll just do them. Perhaps I could do red roses or pink roses. Let's add a little bit of green I have got some backing paper I could use, so it would be quite useful to match that. Okay, this is off. So just a quick bit of colouring. It's quite a fine detail, so small area, so I'm not worrying about any shading, but you could take your time and do that. That's that one. Tiny line for the stalk. Like so. And then let me find, I've got this fun paper which I could use for my archway, so I'm just going to match that if I've got a pen to hand that's similar. And see what I've got that's close. Petunia pop will do the job. And I've got light and a dark one. What I might do is light around the centre, and actually I might do bubble bath around the edges. So just giving it a small amount of shading. Let me settle down now, let's not speak too soon. I'll lift this up so you can see it in a second. So I just stamped the the flower 3 times using the Stampin' Write marker, so that I haven't got the months written on there. That one in there. So there we go. Let me lift that up so you can see it. Hopefully you can see that okay. This is the backing that's going to go on. And so what I'm going to do is decide which of these frames is going to fit that. So that definitely would, just. And that's with that one, but it's quite long, although I could shorten it. So I think I'm going to go for that one there and just pop that through. Let me find the next, oh my goodness, the next layer up. What if I might do a black arch? Just sort of thinking ahead. Right. Okay. Let me stamp what we're going to have on the archway. So I'm going to stamp Your Rare Sunshine, which I don't think is going to be big enough. So Know You Are Loved would fit. Oi! So this is actually going to go on another piece behind. Shush! Hey. And let's start that in Petunia Pop. can find it. Or not. I need to put my glasses on to find my stamp set, my ink pads. It's like a madhouse here this evening. Out of the way. Can you hear that row? Dear, dear. Right. So I can't see any of my other ink pads. So I'm going to stick with the black theme here. Okay. Right, I'm going to leave some space around it so that I can cut that out with the coordinating arch. So let's see which one that will be. Might be that one or that one. Like so. And then I'm going to cut out my flowers with this one. Okay, right, let me put the cover on the ink pad. Just going to grab my die cutting machine. I'll leave it off camera because there's no point in lifting it up, and you can't see much when I do that anyway. But I'm going to cut this one out like so. Let's do that one first. So hello to anybody who's joined us since the beginning. If you have started with me, like Caroline and Nicole, then thank you for your patience with the additional support from the dogs. Okay, so I've got "No, you are loved." Oi, out. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this one through there. Going to give it a little bit of space from the top and the bottom, because I've just had an idea what I'm going to put underneath the flowers. Just stole the block. Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to put Mother on there from the stamp set. Brother has one. Right, that's got Mum, but I really wanted Mother. Let me find that. have anything else. Okay. Mum, it is. It's probably right in front of me. I apologise. Right, let's find Mum on here. If you see it, let me know. Mum, there it is, upside down. Okay, Mum is going to go on there, like so. Right, now I could use the ink or I could use the pen for this. Get it roughly straight. There we are. So, know you are loved. Mum, I'm going to layer that up. Let me bring it up to the screen so you can see it a bit better. Like so. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm going to lift that up. And I'm quite tempted to put a line of roses, just the rose heads, across the bottom. So let's do that. Here. And I can just use the ink because I'm actually going to let it go off the bottom here. Let me grab a piece of grid paper. So I apologise that this is taking a lot longer than it would normally do, but we'll get there, I hope. So I'm just going to use these little flower heads across the bottom to fill that in, give it a little bit more interest. And for speed I'm going to use the pad. And see how this goes. Okay, that works. Now what I should have done was started in the middle, and I could mask that flower a little bit so that I can actually overlap them. So I'm going to do that. So let's put the one in the middle first, like so, and then cover that one up, and find my other mask, which is this one here, cover that one up, and then just add that one in the middle. Can have it a slight jaunty angle. There we go. And now I can just do the same with this. I'm not really worried about which flowers are in front. So let me lift that up so you can see it. You see those across the bottom? I could do another layer as well if I wanted to. And let's just put that one here. So just using a little bit of masking with my pretend post-it notes. There they are. And if I was clever, I could just put the edge of those leaves in that corner, just so it's not blank. So I'm going to cover up the flower. Sorry about the shadow. Like so. And just put the leaf in there. And do the same here. And I could just turn this round because you're not going to see. There we are. Okay, let me put the lid on that and show you what we have. Wrong lid. No, right lid. Okay, so let me lift that up. So I don't know if you can see that. I've got the flowers running across the bottom. Hi Christine. Thanks for joining us. I hope you're keeping well. Right, so I've got Know You Are Loved, Mum. Let's colour those in. And I'll keep them very much the same. I might just change the colours, so I might have one in the dark pink, one in the light. Just so it gives that little bit of definition between them. So there's the dark. Here's the light. Dark. So lucky I ended up with 5. That was pure by luck than judgment, I can assure you. There we go. I'm not doing any clever blending, I'm just literally doing the two colours. And then you could doodle the area along the side, or if you had a sort of curly stamp. And I'm trying to think what I've seen, where I've seen that recently. No, don't play with the table. Wait. There we go. A little bit there. So we'll be doing these, not this particular card, but using this stamp set and everything for our coffee and card session tomorrow. And if you buy our stamp set of the week this week, then you'll get all of these components to make the cards as I've done in the live sessions. And I post that to you, so if you place an order online or through me via email, then you will qualify for my additional gift. Okay, so there's our background. There You Are Loved. This is going to go on top of that. I think actually going to leave that. I was going to do a little doodling. Let me see if there's anything useful, little dots or something, some little stars here, but I'm happy with that as is. So let's pop this together. That's going to go on there. This is going to go on a white card. And let me grab that. Not that one. find one that opens the other way. Everything's just evaporated from in front of my very eyes. Here it is. There we go. And I think before I put that together, I'm going to stamp one of those little flowers on the inside. And again, I'll need to omit the word June in this case. So let me just... It's amazing how much ink stays on there. When you don't want it to. And then when you want it, it doesn't. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to use that basic black marker, just doing the rose, the stalk and the leaf section like that, omitting the month name. Pop that on the inside. Let's have that going off the bottom very slightly. Okay. So, oh, I've got enough space to add a layer behind that of Petunia Pop. I'm going to pop that layer behind. So that layer will measure 10 centimeters by 14.35, and the layer of designer paper I've got will measure 9.5 by 13.85. So what I like to do is cut that in half first, so I know the remaining bit is the right side. What have you got now? What have I dropped? Pen. Saved. Okay, 10 centimeters. 14.35. Alternatively, you can just cut half a centimetre off. That's the other way to do it. If you've started with a quarter of a card. Okay. So that layer is going to go on there, that one's going to go on, and this one is going to go on the top with dimensionals. So let's do that. Let's put this one on first. Some glue. So a small amount all over, not a huge blob. So this is Petunia Pop colour card. So just a reminder, that's our in colours 2023 to 2025. Will be retiring next month, and so if you missed out and you want the inks or the cardstock for those in colours, so that's Wild Wheat, Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, then what's the other colours? Boho blue, of course, and copper clay. Boho blue is one of my favourites. Right, so I might put this on dimensionals as well, you know. Yeah, so it's sort of lifted up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to work these round, so sort of 3 around the top and 4 around the bottom, and I'll probably put another one for support in the middle, like so. Oi. And then I think I've got some petunia pop ribbon. So if not, I've got some white ribbon I can add. So just take those all off. Position this just slightly high of what would be the centre if you put it all together. This one is going to go up on dimensionals as well. Oh, I might wrap some ribbon round there. So this is actually Melon Mambo, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's Magenta Madness, which is even older, but it's not quite exactly the same. But I think I'd get away with that because I can't see any petunia pop ribbon. Let me just check in my bag. Failing that, I could use white or I could colour it. So I've got, that's white with a little bit of silver gold. So, what do we think? So I could colour this in petunia pop. Let's see what that looks like. So this is sort of a translucent ribbon. So you can use your blends pens. You can also use your Stampin Write markers for this, but they will need longer to dry. So let's just see. I'm just going to run that along the ribbon. Hope you can see that. That's really pretty, with the stripe of glitter through it. That's really quite nice. So my recommendation is, if you are not in a position to buy lots of different ribbons, colours, then buy a white ribbon and then you can colour that yourself. There we go. And this will be dry. Let's see if I've got enough. to go around here. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to do a little bit more, so I've got a bit more to play with. And the nice thing is, because it's such a fine ribbon, it doesn't matter if you miss a little bit, because it's got the detail in there. Okay, let's try this then. Let's cut that off. I'll probably find my petunia pop ribbon now. You can almost guarantee it. Caroline, you may order the stamp set, my darling. Of course. It really is very versatile, and you have got the Stampin Write markers, I seem to remember, so that's perfect for omitting the months if you want to. So if you want a rose for December, you can do. Okay, so I've allowed plenty of ribbon, especially when you're doing this live. It's a nightmare to do just a small amount. So there's my bow, and then I'm just going to shorten this and shorten it, tighten it up, and then shorten it again, like so. That crunching that Woody is doing is his own toy. There we go. I think that's really delicate and pretty, isn't it? Let's make it slightly smaller, because I don't want to cover too much up. There we go. There we are. If you can see the glitter in that ribbon. So this is our white ribbon. It's in the current catalogue, and I think it's being carried over. And we do have another white ribbon, but this is called Striped Trim. And I can tell you, in the new catalogue, there is a gold version of this, which is lovely. So there we are. Yeah, I'm happier with that. That just fills that in a little bit. So, some dimensionals on there, and I think we're done. I might add a little bit of bling to some of those flowers. So Caroline, you'll get the arches and the papers and the card and everything, plus the products that I used on Monday. So let me get this fairly central. I presume you mean the flower stamp set, Caroline. I think I said that. There we go. Very happy with that. We did get there in the end. That's the one I started with as a sample. Let's put a little bit of bling on there. I think I've got some little pink sequins that would either go on the flowers. Got these ones here. They're not quite petunia pop though. That is. Obviously petunia pop has been my most popular one, because there's none in there. So the question is, am I just going to add some plain ones? I've also got pearls. And those. Oh my goodness, too much choice. Right, I've decided those are the wrong pink, so they've been ruled out. So I've got this little pink here. I've got plain, and I've got pearls. I think I'm going to go for this here. And going to use the small ones because I don't want to detract from anything else there. I might put one either side of Mum, like so. You need to be in the right place though. Oh, maybe I'll just do that. Normally I would recommend having 3, but they're just balanced by the word Mum, so I think that sort of gives the 3. I don't think it looks odd. So there we go, finished. Let me bring that up to the screen a little bit more. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. I wish I had my mum around to be able to send her that, because she would love that. But I still love her. She's up in heaven. There we go. You are loved. No, you are loved. So, thank you so much for your patience this evening. That seemed a lot of work for one card, with interruptions for separating the dogs and then letting the dogs back together again. So, I do appreciate it if you're still with me. So much. I hope you have a good evening. So I'll be back next week. I'll be back Monday morning. I have closed the class in a box for March, obviously, and I will pop an email out to everybody who's booked that this evening with confirmation of that. All of the products have been ordered, and all being well, they should all be with me tomorrow. If UPS do their job, and so as soon as I get those all cut and prepped, they will be on their way. So either at the weekend, more realistically, they'll go out first class Monday morning. And I also have we have a few spaces left for our Craft and Create Day on the 26th of April. It's been very popular this time, and we are extremely limited on numbers. We can't extend the numbers just because we're running 4 classes, and it's got to be manageable. So if you do like to join us, and message me if you need any more information. That is in person only. If we had more numbers than we could fit, potentially we could make that an online option as well. But really that sort of thing is much better classes in person, and that's all brand new product. So thank you so much. I've whittled on far too long this evening. I'm going to go off and make my dinner now. Thank you so much everyone. Do take care, and I look forward to crafting with you next week. Bye for now.